Hi Royals, it's me again. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about UFOs. We're not going to talk about this every time on my channel. This is not just the only thing we're going to talk about. It just happens to be an interesting topic, and it's probably what's going to transpire during the tribulation. So I thought I might as well just talk about it because I had another idea. And when you're on YouTube and when you're trying to make a video, then it's best to go with your ideas because otherwise you won't have a whole lot to talk about. Okay, so also I want to make a side note that I made 3 videos last week to post and I don't have editing software, so I'm just gonna have to free flow it, okay? I know that there's apps and stuff, but my phone, it's just not working on my phone. I tried to do it and it just wouldn't download and it was just a mess. So I just have to make one video and post it. And unfortunately what occurred last week is I made 3 videos and they were fantastic in my opinion. And then I watched them again and I thought, they could have a different kind of connotation than I wanted. So anyways, I'm starting over. I really do want to be a part of the community and be posting frequently. I have life and obligations and all those things that go along with it. So I do this in the evening on my spare time, the moment that I have free, that's when I get on and I enjoy it and I love it. And I especially love when you guys talk to me. So subscribe and chat with me. It's just fun. Even if I just thumbs it up, I'm still taking mental note of everything you say and I read it out loud and kind of take it to heart, unless it's mean. And then I just boop, delete. So anyways, but there's actually not been too many of those. So I'm hopeful. So tonight I wanted to talk just briefly about the War of the Worlds. Okay, so anyone who doesn't know or does remember the War of the Worlds, I'm going to do a little recap because back in 1938, that was back when TV wasn't a thing and the radio was just sort of a new phenomenon. News was really cool, and if you had a radio then you were the it crowd, and if it was sort of misunderstood. And it's kind of okay, just a side note, it's kind of like Gilligan's Island. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, but when Gilligan's Island came out, it was one of the very first TV shows, and people started calling 911, trying to tell 911 or call the police or whatever. I don't know if 911 existed back then, but after the first episode, that there was some people stranded on an island. That's a true story. So people just didn't have the concept. Anyway, so back in 1938, there was a thing called War of the Worlds on the radio. And basically what it was, I've not listened to it, but I've heard all about it, which is, I think it was somebody came on, a radio guy came on, and he started telling people that the world was being taken over by aliens and that there was a war of the worlds. And so apparently there was a really big freak out. And it was sort of unbeknownst to them, supposedly a social experiment, even though they didn't. I don't think they meant it as a social experiment. I think they meant it just as fun broadcasting, but it ended up being sort of a social experiment because people reacted in a completely different way than you would think. And so what I've been thinking about recently is, okay, pretend you're not part of the body of Christ. And let's say you're taking a nap, okay? So you're taking a nap, You wake up, and we're in like modern day today. And you wake up and you turn on the news and there's all this footage of like people disappearing. Because there's going to be footage everywhere. There's going to be footage everywhere. I mean, there's hypotheticals. So many hypotheticals that could happen. I mean, Jesus literally could be coming like seconds before an atomic bomb hits. Or he could be coming seconds before an asteroid hits or something like that. I mean, those are all the hypotheticals. But let's pretend like an asteroid doesn't hit. Maybe God just knows something that we don't know in timing. Maybe he's just done. And he's like, I'm ready to get you guys out. It's a great escape. That's how I always envision it. So it's the great rescue mission. So he's going to be taking us to rescue us from sudden destruction of some sort. But let's just pretend like we're taking a nap and an atomic bomb didn't go off. Or if it did, it went off on the other side of the world and we're unaffected. Okay? Maybe that's a good hypothetical. Because if an atomic bomb, in my opinion, does go off, it's going to go off in America. It's not going to go off in other places in the world. It's the Christian nations that are going to go. But we can talk about that at another time. If you're interested in that topic, please write below. And also, anytime you're interested in any topic, write below, because it gives me stuff to think about and to talk about. Okay, so we're taking a nap. Sorry, I keep doing that. So we're taking a nap, and we wake up and there's footage. Like, remember 9/11? I don't know if any of you guys were old enough, but like during 9/11, turn on the TV and some big old buildings are crashing down. I mean, that was like holy moly. Those are one of those moments where everybody knows exactly where you were when that happened. Anyone who is part of that era, who remembers that day, knows exactly the moment that they found out and what they were doing that day and where they were. Except for the president at the time. He didn't seem to know anything about it. He forgot. He forgot where he was. Oh, that's another topic. So yeah, they brought it up a couple times, and in each of his statements, he said he was in one place that he wasn't. Yeah. So supposedly he was videotaped at a school, and then I guess he forgot that he was at a school the moment that he found out about it. I think he thought he was somewhere else. So, anyways. So that was Jay. I'm not going to say president's names. Okay. So, you wake up, there's going to be footage everywhere. There's going to be car footage. There's going to be people just video recording. There's going to be kind of like 9/11. Remember how 9/11 just happened to have a fire drill that day, and they just happened to have like news cameras like right there to film it. Well, some of that's going to be happening. I mean, I think it's going to be a little different, obviously, than that, just because it's God's timing and not man's timing. But and your family member is going to be gone. Lots of family members going to be gone. You're going to go out into the middle of the street, and there are going to be people who are in great agony in car accidents, needing help, and nobody's going to be able to get to them. And there's going to be bleeding people and car accidents all over the place. And you're going to be like, how? Thank goodness I was sleeping and I wasn't in a car when this happens. So you're going to try to take the couple people that you're able to grab and like drag them to the hospital, but you have to walk because all the streets are going to be jammed. And so let's say, and then you get to the hospital, and then half of the staff is going to have disappeared, And the people that are there, they're going to need more staff, but those people can't get to them because of the car crashes. And there's just going to be so much that's going on. Okay, so then you're going to turn on the news and it's going to be UFOs everywhere. And who knows, like the UFOs may be in the Nephilim family. Like, and so as soon as the restrainer is removed, and then maybe they will actually be just allowed to zoom in and they're not going to hide anymore. It's very possible. I mean, anything's possible in this horrible time. So I don't think, like, really try to wrap your mind around, not just that, like, your mom and your children and your best friend, or even just your neighbors and people that you know, and everyone at a church, and they're gone. Like, people are just gone. And you have to have an explanation, and so the UFOs are the explanation. It's going to be kind of like BC and AD, before Christ and after Christ. It's going to be like right now we're in the time of before UFOs. And I think that possibly one reason why they have really kept UFOs like for kooks, like they don't want to talk about UFOs at all, is because they want it to be a big bang, a big splash, like they did in 1938. And that it was very, I guess apparently it was very dramatic, and anyone who heard it really thought that it was happening. Like there's like the war of the worlds was occurring. And I think that it will be that way. It will be probably very hard to not think that way. But then on top of that, if you think it's bad with COVID, can you imagine when they have thousands of video footages of people disappearing, what they're going to be watching on mainstream news? If the TV is able to turn on, which, probably, I don't know. But let's pretend in this hypothetical that the news is able to turn on. We know for sure that the Antichrist will probably utilize it. So eventually news will turn back on. And the amount of footage is going to be about UFOs. So we're in the pre-UFO stage in the world right now. And the second that everybody is raptured up, we're going to be AD, I would say post UFOs, but it's not post UFOs. It's just going to be UFOs everywhere. So, it's all that anyone's going to be thinking about. And then on top of that, real demons are going to be walking the earth. Like true demons are going to be walking the earth. That's what Revelation says. And so it's going to be easy to believe that. It's going to be easy. It's just going to be a wave. It's going to be like this. Like, la, 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 I'm going to sleep. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to sleep. And then this wave comes. UFOs. UFOs. So, kind of like COVID. Like, remember, like, what the heck's happening in China? Thank goodness that they're a third world country. Those third world countries over there. We're in America. Thank goodness. And then this big old wave. And now it's just COVID everything. And that's all just, but can you imagine when the church disappears? When we're raptured? I don't know. Are we going to turn into are we just gonna, I don't know. Is it gonna be like the movies? Are we gonna turn into an orb and then fly up? I have no idea. I really don't know. I'm curious. I think that we might actually go up, because part of not dying is taking our body. So I don't think we turn into an orb. I think we actually go up. Anyway, so that's a food for thought. But just think about it. Like, I don't know about you, but that satanic music video, I'm not gonna say the name of the guy, but that recently came out with the Nike shoes and all that. It was so sickening. I didn't watch it. But I watched a lot of Rapture enthusiasts and Watchmen talking about it. And that was enough for me, because it makes you want to like, ooh, it makes you squirmy. Your stomach just, ooh. And what I couldn't believe was just how extreme it was, and how it had gotten to Nike. And I just thought, what's so gross, what's so disturbing, what's so freaky and scary and awful, is that it's when the Antichrist is actually here. And the Antichrist may just be a nephilim, by the way. I can conceptualize what a nephilim is, but unless I saw it with my own eyes and like was able to like examine it, I don't really know what a nephilim is. I mean, we can talk about, there's lectures on what nephilims are and stuff, but does anyone actually know what a nephilim? I mean, they're giants, they're three-dimensional, but maybe they're the sons of man, the sons that bred with the women. But if he is a nephilim, then that would explain the being able to get shot in the head and come back to life part, you know? We talked about, in the other video, we talked about it being what's that called? I want to say a halogen lamp. It's not that. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever. One of the things that disappeared. Hey, I'm just a person. I'm just a person behind a camera. And if I had a person next to me, I'd ask them what the word was. But I'm by myself. Okay. So that's part of what made me so sick about the video, was just like how it got into like my house. Like, I was disgusted that it got into my house. It got into a brand that I like Nike. So when the Antichrist comes, it's gonna be so disgusting. Like, the world is gonna be disgusting. Not only is people are gonna be eaten and bit by locusts, and they're gonna want to die, but they can't die because locusts are trying to eat them, and it's gonna hurt so bad. But like, if brands still exist, they're gonna be like that music video guy. They're gonna be disgusting. They're gonna be Lucifer's brands, and that was just like a taste. That's what was so just, for me, disturbing about the video, was just a taste of what they're gonna have when we're taken in the rapture. That was like a taste. Think about what a taste is. Okay, so like, for instance, when Jesus split the bread and he said, "This is my bread," and he gave them like a big loaf. But then when you're in church, you get like the little square like that. That's a taste. Whereas Jesus had the like hearty loaf, you know? I mean, I'm just trying to explain taste, okay? Like tasting. Taste versus like, so that Satan music video, Nike shoes, that was a sip. It was just a sip. Just a taste of what it's gonna be like. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really. Did I mention that it's going to be bad? Has anyone else mentioned that? Watchman, have you been mentioning how bad it's going to be? So, look up, because the kingdom of God is at hand. And you, my friends, are royals. And we need to get our friends and family into the royal family with us. We don't want them to be a part of what's coming. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really, really bad. Think about it. The UFO. 1 minute, it's like we're all blind and there's no such things as UFOs. Those are only for kooks. And then the next thing is, all we know is UFOs. It's going to be bad. The kingdom of God is at hand. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.